I could have come back at any point and looked at the screen and saw that nameplate on the other side of the stone. That, I got chills. I'm the only one online right now. Just Reescraft. That is creepy! Howdy folks, how are y'all doing? My name is Rees, and welcome back to the Minecraft 2025 Let's Play Adventure, where things are just a little bit different. As you can tell, we've gone ultra-wide. We are CinemaScope now. Is CinemaScope 21:9? I actually don't know, but we are 21:9. I purchased a 21:9 monitor. I've got a couple of weeks to decide whether or not I actually like it and want to keep it, see if it's as immersive. Now, I understand that this is less than ideal for some viewers. If you don't have an ultra-wide monitor, you got black bars now where you're going to zoom in and lose some of the information. Like, you're not going to see the edges of the screen if you zoom in. You're not going to know what my mouse is doing over here. It's being all kinds of crazy. But I have wanted to try an ultra-wide monitor for a long time. And if I like it, and I do really like it, it was a little weird to get used to at first, but now I can't imagine life without it. But if I need to, for recording, I can always just change the output to a 16:9 and deal with it. But let's go ahead and restock all of our gear so that we can go have a look at the I was gonna say produce. That's not right. Let's go look at the produce section and see how it's been going. No, we're gonna go look at the progress. Oh, goodness. Getting words out sometimes is hard. We're gonna go look at the... Goodness, what am I trying to say right now? What am I trying to say? We could probably leave some of these back here. We don't really need to take all these chests with us. Who knows? We might need to camp out in here again. So we'll leave all that there and then take all this out. And then we got 10 chests left over. So let's leave all of this in here. There we go. Yeah. Let's go check on the progress that has been made by the machine. What does the sand? Is what I'm trying to say. Okay? Uh-oh. Oh, heavens! Oh, jeez! Oh, gosh! Oh, no! Die! Okay, well, that wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad. Our first clue in was the sign. Just says surprise with the smiley face. We can assume we know who did that. How bad was it? That's a pretty deep hole, there's some floating string, and we did lose a chest, unfortunately. Gosh darn it, I thought we were done with this kind of stuff. I didn't think we were doing that anymore. I hate that there's a mess down here now. I feel obligated to fill in the mess. I mean, we do have some materials here. Let's pick up that cobblestone first things first. Let's just start patching the hole, I guess. Okay, we're not going to have quite enough to completely fill in the whole thing. I'll have to come back later and... Well, hold on. Wait, what did we leave inside of here? Wait, here we go. There we go. Some sand, because we have plenty of it. Okay. There we go. You know what? It's still a bit of a mess, but we weren't done with this room anyway. I'm going to take this with me, and we're just going to have to keep an eye out for more traps. This is not a permanent solution. We cannot live our life in fear of random traps. But... Why is the machine off? I did not turn it off. Well, you saw me. I sealed myself away in there. You don't suppose the fella stole all my sand as well, do you? Oh, smokes! Now, wait a minute. Has this thing been working at all? Is that a sign that this chest just filled up and it didn't automatically hop down to the next one? No, it did. Wait a minute. This thing's not been running all that long. It's not even been a full 24 hours. Oh my gosh! Well, we've got sand now. We definitely do have sand now. It's filled to overflowing, which is fantastic, because remember, we need all of this sand for future projects. Do you have sand in you? You're already full of sand. Gosh darn it. Well, I guess we will leave actually all of this sand inside of here that we took out yesterday. See if I can't collect all of this. I don't want to have a mess left on the ground. So we don't have any proof or evidence that that fella came here to the end, right? We know that, I mean, okay, there's no signature this time. There's no signed book. We have to assume it's, what was his name? Welkin Lad? I can't remember what his name was now. We've got his books back at the house, though. Whoa! What? Now, wait just a minute. Where did all of you guys come from? There's only literally like 2 places you could have spawned. like, literally on top of this portal is the only, or meddling from someone. I mean, this would be an incredibly stupid thing to do right now. All things considered, there's so many of them. But if we actually land the hits, and they die as soon as we hit them, but then again, what are we going to do with all the drops? We could set up like a temporary chest for sand, because we've got so much sand now. This is why you got to be diligent. Okay, you got to be diligent about putting up your slabs on your portals. Or keeping ne'er-do-wells off your server, which seems like that... I mean, I don't think that they would have had access to like, spawn eggs or anything, but how hard is it to bait a bunch of these guys in here? Or... you know what? We stayed for about 24 hours next to a loaded portal. What are the odds these are guys that spawned next to that portal in the overworld, and then wandered through it? Back into the Nether. I mean, there's so many of them. Not as many as I had thought at first. And also, I kind of thought this would be a little bit more action-packed with all of them trying to get me. It's not quite how this turned out. Maybe we should just have iron golems here. Maybe that's the solution. Alright, heading home. Here's the thing, we've not been home in 24 hours. So ought we be extremely cautious? Every step we take, and with every move we make? I keep forgetting that we do have a way inside right down here. We don't have to try to worry about landing up top anymore. Got this lovely entrance. Take no chances, you know what I'm saying? Be cautious. My home used to be our safe place. We'd come back here, and we had that sense that everything was right in the world. And then we started having to deal with nonsense from, Wickle Pip Whistle. That's it. Or Weichel. I'm not sure. Let me know how to pronounce that. So transporting a load of sand back and forth is going to be a pain, and I'm not looking to do that right now. What I was thinking we might do... I need to get that eventually. I need to do something about that. That's still sitting out there. What I was thinking we might do is go ahead and... where is it? I know it's up here. Smooth the shores. We have enough sand to smooth the shores now. And keep in mind, what we're looking to accomplish when we smooth the shores is we want to have it be not so abrupt here, right? So we want to bring the sand up to right about there. So there's still those full 2 blocks. Regular mobs can't quite get up there. Maybe at one point, because we want turtles to go up there. Do we really care about the drowned going up there? Is that really so much of a concern that the drowned are able to get up on the island? I don't think so. But this is just going to help make it look a little bit less like an artificial island. And it's largely irrelevant and not necessary. But then we're also going to go out another step further and maybe bring it up like that. Just 3 blocks there. So it's 3, 3, 2. And then that looks just that little bit better. And it's going to be a long and arduous process of manually placing sand to make this happen. Not looking forward to it. It's going to take a lot of sand, and I wish there was some sort of automated way to make this happen. Laying down sand is some of the most boring Minecraft experiences that I've had in this Let's Play. I gotta tell you, folks. I gotta tell you, it didn't come up a lot. Or maybe it did, and I just misremember. But I was pretty miserable in the process of expanding Deadbull Island. Yeah, I was not having a great time. I was bored out of my wits, and was really starting to question all of my life decisions. And all of that is starting to flash back before my eyes now, as I'm sitting here placing down sand. So those are actually 4 tall there. I guess it... well, no, it's 4 tall here as well. I just didn't count properly. And then that's 3, and then that's 2. Okay, it's going to vary as we go around the island, obviously. But that looks a bit better than the solid wall. In situations like this, we might, like, feather it a little bit. That might make sense. So it's not so abrupt. But then again, now this looks wacky. That's better. Now, how did you get up there? Can you guys do that? I guess maybe they can, but zombies and the sort of undead can't? That's possible. Also, we have a turtle over here under glass. How did that little experiment turn out? No hatching yet, because we've been in a different dimension. See, working on this corner here and, like, not being so strict with the exact placement, this looks really good. The problem is this has taken me 5 minutes, and there's the rest of the island left. So I decided to, the other day, start rewatching the Scary Game Squad playthrough of Until Dawn, which was the first sort of, like, scary game thing that I watched ever. I've since gone on to play it with my friends, Mike and Brenton. There's a great Let's Play of it. But, man, I love this series. It's just a Let's Play. It's a Let's Play, but I watch it through like a couple of times every year. It's really good, because it's a great game, and it's a great bunch of guys. Now, is the Completionist no longer a member? Yeah. Is that sad? Kinda. I don't know. Like, that's a whole discussion we could have in the future if you wanted to. Like, was the cancellation of the Completionist fully fair and justified? I've heard a lot of different opinions on that. First off, like, obviously, what he did was wrong. Was he actually scamming people, though? I mean, the money wasn't being shipped off to an offshore account to, like, enrich himself and his family. I think the real concern a lot of people had was, like, well, that money was thought to be going to charity immediately, and that money could have been being used by charities to, you know, treat patients and find a cure and all of that, and instead it was just sitting in a savings account, not even accruing, like, interest, right? Like, maybe if they had it in a high-yield savings account where it was earning 3 to 4%, APY, that would be one thing, like multiplying the money. But like, I think what bothered, so people who know what happened, because there's a lot of people who just got the headline, and they themselves still don't actually understand exactly what it was that Gerard the Completionist was being accused of. He didn't steal the money. No one said he stole the money. Alright, the money was donated. The money, what happened was, he kept saying, we have all these partners that we're sending the money to, but the money was not being sent. And the reason why is because we suspect the family wanted to get a big fat check and donate it all at once and look impressive. We don't know that. That's speculation. You know, the Khalil family has said the reason was they wanted the money to be earmarked specifically for certain use, and you can only do that with a big donation, which is not true, depending on where the money's going. But also, it's a silly thing to worry about, because if you donate $1 million to a company and tell them, hey, I only want this money to be used in this way, they'll say, okay, and then they'll turn around and just use other people's donations for the things, right? So earmarking the money is a bit silly. But that's their claim. I tend to not believe them. I tend to be of the opinion that the decision was, let's save the money until we have a big $1 million check that we can donate, and then we'll be in all the newspapers and everybody will be really impressed with us. I think, in my opinion, that is what actually happened. I could never prove it. I can't know that. But based on other things that have come out about the family since then, that sort of seems like that might be their MO. You know, they're in it for the glory. But Rees, the Completionist mom did die. That's true. That's also just not relevant. He kept using his mom as a shield from criticism. He's like, no, but my mom did die from this disease. Like, dude, no one questioned that your mom died from this disease. They're questioning why you haven't donated the money yet? I don't know. I feel like if he had... Because here's the thing. Gerard the Completionist didn't run the charity. It was run by his family. He only ever did sort of promotion for it. I think he could have come out scot-free if he had come forward and said, wow, guys, listen, I love my family. I love my dad. I love my brother. They definitely misled me on this, you know, because I'm assuming that would have been a lie. I'm assuming he knew all along. But, you know, you just talk to the family and say, look, I've got a career I got to look after. Y'all are going to have to take this one. And then you just come out and say, I really did think the money was being donated every year, guys. I really just didn't know. But now that I know, you know, I'm lighting a fire under him. We're going to get that money donated. And in fact, because his response video, I think, is what actually did him in. It wasn't the charity, in quotes, fraud, because there was no fraud, as far as I can tell. The money was donated, eventually. You know, the definition of fraud for me is you say you're collecting money for a charity, and you're actually just shipping it all off to a Swedish bank account, which wasn't happening. So what you do is you come out in your response video and you say, yeah, look, you know, my family runs the charity event. I talked to them. They explained the reason why the money wasn't being donated was this. I didn't know about this, guys, and I'm not okay with it because it makes me feel like I've been dishonest with you guys, even though I didn't know because I'm not involved in the day-to-day operations. Even so, we all got together and discussed it, and the money has now been donated. And here's the receipt, and it's super exciting. Thank you all for your support. Moving forward, I'm going to have a more active role in the management of the charity, or we're just going to get out of the charity business, right? One of those two things. I'm going to have a more active role in the management of the charity to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. You know, I've heard a lot of people speculate why we were doing this, and it really was just because my dad and my brother believed that was the best way to make sure this money wasn't going to be going to someone's salary, but was really going to be going towards helping someone, towards the charity aspect. And, you know, we're getting out of the charity business, or I'm going to have a more active role to make sure that this doesn't happen again. It's one of those two things is what you do. One of those two things is what you do. What you don't do is make the video being like, people been mean. People been saying mean things about us, and we're talking to lawyers about suing them. That's what he did. That's what he did, except he tried to look intimidating. He, like, puffed out his chest and was like, we're seriously considering a defamation law. It's like, Gerard, you're not intimidating. Gerard, you're giant butterball. Shut up, you're not scary. No one in the history of humanity has ever been intimidated by Gerard Khalil, and they never will be. That was his undoing, and at that point, it was deserved. Right? Like, I feel like, even if he did, the crime of holding the money because you want to do a big donation all at once is not that grand. It's not that great. It's not that damning, if you will. I don't really care. I've heard the arguments that, well, that money has sort of deflated in value as opposed to when it was donated. Sure. But they didn't steal the money. If they'd stole the money, I'd be right there with you. I'd be enraged. But they didn't steal the money, so it's hard for me to act like this was some grand cancelable offense. It was dumb, and you probably should be more mindful of where you donate money when it comes to charity. But I don't think Gerard's a bad guy because of this. But as soon as he came out and puffed up his chest and acted like anyone would find him intimidating and said, we're talking to lawyers, that was the moment for me where I said, all right, Gerard, I don't want to watch The Completionist anymore. I can't look at you and do anything but laugh now, and it's sad. Rosanna Pansino came out and was like, he was not a great guy. It's like, Rosanna, shut up. This doesn't involve you. She does this. Anytime someone gets canceled, you can almost guarantee if they've had any interaction with Rosanna Pansino, she'll crawl out of whatever hole in the ground she sleeps in and is like, yeah, I knew all along that he was a bad guy. I've had some bad run. It's like, shut up, Rosanna. Nobody, listen. Go make your nerdy nummies, okay? Nobody believes you. Why didn't you say something till now? You're full of nonsense. You're just hopping on the train. There's a discussion happening about a creator, and it's not you. Hello, I'm Rosanna Pansino. How can I make this discussion about me? Every single time. Every single time without fail. It's like, how can I make this about me? That said, I gotta say, Jesse Cox knew that this was coming. Because I'm pretty sure it was right ahead of all of this dropping that he was like, hey, we're going to do more Scary Game Squad soon, and maybe not all the members can make it for all the episodes, but we're going to try. And I was like, that's an odd thing to say. What a strange, like, preamble. What are you talking about? Oh, Gerard's not going to be in the videos anymore because Jesse Cox is not the kind of guy who stands by his friends. As soon as trouble was brewing, he was like, you're out, bro. I can't have this. This is bad for my image. Pretty lame. Pretty lame and sad on Jesse Cox's part. Is that going to fall? Yeah. That said, I don't hate Gerard. Like, I don't want to watch his content, and I think he's a laughingstock for his fake tough man sort of act that he tried to pull. But I still liked him in Scary Game Squad. And honestly, I was like, I'll give Scary Game Squad a try without him. It's not like Gerard made Scary Game Squad. It's 4 different fellas. You know, they all come together to make the Scary Game Squad work. But it wasn't the same after he left. I don't know why. But, like, you just tell the energy is not quite right. The energy is off. And, yeah, I don't know. I've had trouble watching the newer stuff. Also, they're not playing the new games coming out from the, like, they didn't do the last couple at this point, Dark Picture Anthology games. Why not? They were always on those day one before, House of Ashes and all of those. Great games. Why aren't you doing the new ones? A lot of the games they've been playing, I just don't really have much interest in watching, even though I'm sure they are scary. I think they should have gotten a new 4th guy. They replaced the old 4th guy, and it turned out he was Actually, I don't want to say what he was doing because I might not remember the details specifically. I think his offense was possibly more cancelable than the Completionist's. But get a new fourth guy. It makes up. The dynamic is better. The dynamic is better. Get a new fourth guy. But that's the discussion we're having. That's my opinion on the Completionist and the cancellation of the Completionist. It should not have been withholding charity money. Should have responded to it better. Should not have done like a fake tough guy sort of a thing to be like, we're gonna sue you. Like really cringe, really embarrassing. But yeah, I'm not convinced he should have been completely destroyed. He brought it on himself at the end of the day, right? Like you can't blame. I know everyone wants to blame like Mutahar and Carl Jops and all. Carl Jops. What a guy. Him and Billy, right? Woo, baby. But no, it just wasn't their fault. They just brought to light something that was happening. I need more sandstone. I need more sandstone so I can like have this be sort of built out some. It's the fact that, because at the end of the day, he wasn't running the charity, so it's the fact that his brother and father were running the charity incorrectly. The fact that he seemingly knew about it, and didn't have the wherewithal to at least lie about it, buddy. And I'm not saying lying is good or justifiable. I'm saying from the perspective of a PR standpoint. Don't go out there and admit this, buddy. Like, come on. Don't get on a call with Mutahar and Jops and then, like, in a sort of way seemingly attempt to bribe them. Like, just ignore the issue. Or the response is what damned him. At the end of the day, that's the reality. It wasn't what he did. It wasn't the way the charity was managed. Gerard Khalil, the Completionist, was damned because of his response, not because of what happened. Maybe have some humility. You know, I said, you know, he should have gone out there and been like, whoa, I didn't know this was happening. You know what else you could have said? You know what else you could have said that probably would have not tanked your career? You could have just come out and said, yeah, my family really wanted to just have that big photo op moment and make mom proud, you know, looking down on us from heaven, or I don't know, out of the fiery depths of hell, wherever she is. I can't speak to that. But, you know, we really wanted that moment, and we realize now that that wasn't right because a lot of the criticisms you guys have were true, and we just hadn't thought about them. It is true. This money could have been helping people right now, and it didn't, and that's on us. We failed you guys. We're sorry. I'm sure a lawyer told them don't admit fault, right? But just coming out and saying, like, hey, we realized that what we wanted to do, you know, holding on to the money and all that until the opportune moment was not what was best. It was a mistake on our part. We're real sorry about that, guys. Have a little humility. Don't come out with your arms crossed and your chest puffed and go, we're talking to lawyers. We're going to see what we can do, huh? Cringe. Cringe at him. It's why I can't take him seriously anymore. That's the real issue. I keep coming back to it. Every time I think about that video, you got the little butterball set there. He's got his lips all puckered out. His eyes are like, his brows are furrowed. And he's like, listen here, buddies. Let me tell you about it. We're going to sue. We're going to sue left. We're going to sue right. We're going to sue all around. And he just like, Gerard! Stop it! Alright? You can try to steal candy from a baby and the baby would laugh at you. You're not intimidating! Anyway, what, 2 years now? A year or two after the event? I think it's been 2 years. That's my opinion on the that's my opinion on the that's my opinion on the situation with the Completionist and his charity. It's not a fraud scam. His charity failings. His mismanagement of a charity. I kind of wish he had been caught stealing the money, though. That would have been a lot funnier. If Mutahar and Carl Jops were trying to research it, and they're like, where did the money go? And they're just going through, like, a timeline of hey, guys, great indie land. By the way, just bought a Porsche, lol. That would be funnier. That would be worse. It'd be worse for him. He'd probably be in prison, but it'd be funnier. Now, what's worse than that, though? What's worse than that? Hoarding money so that you can donate it all in one go and look really impressive, or holding an in quotes charity event where none of the money goes to charity and it's just a vanity project for your wife whose last name you took because you've been thoroughly whipped by her and it's cringe and embarrassing. I'm talking about Anissa Jama's husband, in case it wasn't obvious. I'm gonna go back to my Until Dawn Let's Play rewatch now. Now wait a minute. Now hold on here. Now what are you doing? What on earth are you doing? This is silly. There's no reason for you to be down here, of all places. Hold on. You were on a lead along with all the others. How'd you get off your lead? How does this keep happening? Did you just like wander far enough over that you fell in the water? And it broke the lead? I actually don't know. I don't know how this works. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do with them for right now, because I don't have a lead and I'm busy on different projects. We'll just put them inside it. No. You're supposed to stay in here. Every other animal respects this. What is your issue? Oh, no, I don't have the time. I'm working on projects. I got to deal with this horse. Surprisingly, fighting these things on horseback is pretty straightforward. I think I keep some of these around for moments specifically such as these. Don't you be going nowhere. I need to move these two as well. Bring them over here. Put them each on their own thing. See if that holds any better. You know, I don't know if I've ever told anyone this, but when the first time I watched through the Scary Game Squad playthrough of Until Dawn, this was many long years ago. And despite being a grown man even then, it terrified me. I was actually scared. I had trouble sleeping that night. I had a miserable night's rest. And it was kind of cringe, kind of embarrassing. And what's funny now, though, is that I've watched so much scary content since then. Has that been a decade ago? It can't be far off. The game itself came out in 2015. The Let's Play, I'm on episode 12 right now, is 9 years old. Yeah, it's pretty old. Yeah, I'm so desensitized now, these things don't bother me anymore. At all. Not even a little bit. I think that's why when it came time to finally do a Let's Play of it, I was like, I've got to get my friends who know nothing about it, so that I can just sort of live vicariously through their reactions. And that was fun, and I enjoyed that. I think we got a little bit more sand left in here. There is a remaster out. There's an Until Dawn complete, a remake, basically, and a movie. The movie sucks. I've not seen it, but as soon, like, as they announced it, I remember thinking, okay, great, they've got the perfect story to work off of. Until Dawn is tailor-made for maybe not even a movie, but a mini-series. Like a 6 or 7 part mini-series. I'd watch the heck out of that. It's perfect. I mean, that's basically what the game is. And I thought to myself, now, how are they going to cook it? You know, it's a Sony film. How are they going to butcher it so badly it's not even recognizable? And the idea that they had was to take the name Until Dawn and then do a movie with absolutely no connection to the game. Which is exactly... Oh, look, we got Peter Stormare in it, just like in the game. Screw you. If you watched the Until Dawn movie, first off, I'm so sorry that you sat through that. Please play the game. Don't judge the game by the movie. It's not the same plot. The game's actually good, unlike the film. And then, so that, the remake was coming out, and I was like, okay, how are they going to ruin that? It turns out they did. Apparently make some, like, lighting changes. I've seen screenshots. Like, in the game, it starts at night, and it's night until dawn. And it really helps set the atmosphere up really well. And they ruin it by making the beginning of the game be like sunset. And I kind of get the idea. It's like, oh, we're going to ease you into this dark, cold, scary night by having a warm sunset. I don't like it. Apparently some of the music is different as well. I mean, the music in the original is perfect. I know what music cues to expect. I'll be disappointed. I'm going to play through it eventually. We'll do a Let's Play. Get a different group of friends in here and kind of make them, subject them to a playthrough of it. That doesn't belong there. I needed that anyway, but it doesn't belong in here. And yeah, we'll kind of see where that gets us, but Until Dawn, man, good game. Scary Game Squad, great playthrough of a good game. Now, where did we leave off? Because it kind of looks like we did it. It looks like it's, the first level at least is done. Obviously, as you can tell, I've not bothered to finish doing the rest of it along the entire island. We kind of dropped out immediately after this corner. This is what we've got to do to the rest of it. which right now kind of looks almost as bad as it did before. Slight improvement, I guess. Like a moderate slight improvement. Over here, I kind of did this, and I thought that looked pretty good. Here's where we need this stuff, so we can do this. Perfect. And same needs to be done right over here. Yeah, okay. Dun dun dun. Dun, dun, dun. So as you can see, I basically have to go back around and do that entire loop, doing more sort of feathering several more times until it all kind of turns out like this here. This looks great. This is what we want all the way around, and then maybe also cover the ground all in sand between the two islands. I don't want to do that right now, though. I've been at this for a while, so I'm going to call it here. But thank you, folks, for tuning in. Thank you for... I hope you've enjoyed the discussion topics today, and I am very much looking forward to continuing these sorts of projects in the future. That was a weird little jump thing we did. I gotta keep my eye out, apparently. You know what's scary? I was logged in when that trap was set, because the game's just been running. I've left my guy signed in. I could have come back at any point and looked at the screen and saw that nameplate on the other side of the stone. That, I got chills. I'm the only one online right now. Just Rees Crafts. That is creepy! Until then, thank you folks for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you later. Goodbye!